What's going on, guys? I'm back with another. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be talking about what is a good SAT score and what SAT score you should be aiming for depending on the type of university you want to go to, whether it be an Ivy League university, a private university, a public university, a state school, etc. And this is a big topic that I've never discussed on my channel, which is actually crazy because this is a topic that many students wonder about, since every student wants to know what SAT score they should be aiming for to make themselves competitive, which SAT score they should be aiming for to differentiate themselves from the pack, so that will boost the chance of getting to the college they want to. So I'll be talking about all of this in this video, so please stay tuned. And throughout this video, I'm going to be referring to my notes because I did some research on this topic to make sure I give you guys the best information you can possibly get. So to start off, I'll talk about the Ivy League colleges, since everyone wants the highest SAT score, best colleges to go to. So the 25th percentile for most of the Ivy Leagues ranges from 700 to 730. So that's the bottom 25% of applicants in terms of the SAT score for math. So if you're not getting at least a 700 on the math section, then the chances of you getting to an Ivy League, giving your SAT score, do fall down a bit. Now, likewise, the average SAT score for these same Ivy League colleges is a 750 to a 760. So again, a very high math score, okay? And then you can, of course, expect the 75th percentile to be anywhere from 780 to 800. I know based on this chart at Yale and Harvard, the 75th percentile, so that means 75% are test takers who've gotten an 800. So already you know that if you're not getting from a 750 to 800, the chances of you getting into that Ivy League have been hit, because you have 50% of applicants getting at least a 750. So if you're not even at that average standing, then you're going to be not as competitive as other applicants. So now let's talk about more generally what a good SAT score can be considered. Well, the average SAT score in America is 1068, okay? This is the average. And a lot of you guys may be thinking, whoa, this is kind of low. How is this the average? Well, actually, this is not low, because a lot of people are prepared for the SAT in such a way that they think a 1200 is more the average, and if you're doing good, then you're getting a 1400 plus. That's just because people are competitive by heart. But if you actually look at the United States of America from a global perspective, the average score for the United States is a 1068. So if you're getting a 1300, you're well above the average. So over here, you can see this percentile chart. And this percentile chart basically tells you the percentile you are based on the score you get. So if you can see that if you got a 1400 plus, you're in the 94 to 96 percentile. So that means you're doing better than 94/96% of test takers. So you're in the top 5%, top 6%. And that's where you want to be, right? That's why people always say aim for that 1400 plus, because that's like a really strong competitive score that can get you into most universities aside from like Stanford, MIT, and those big name Ivy Leagues / non-Ivy Leagues, but should be an Ivy League such as Stanford. The thing is, just to let you guys know, my sister got a 1400 in the SAT, but she got into Stanford. So it's not all about the SAT. I know you guys are always stressing about the SAT. You have SAT anxiety. It's not all about the test. There's other stuff that goes in. For example, my sister was a beast writer, so her essays were phenomenal, and she got in, even though her SAT score was well below the 21st percentile for Stanford. Now, going back to the chart, you can see a 1000 to 1050 is a 40 to 49 percentile, so basically average if you're getting a 1068. So how can you be above the average? Say you get a 1200, which is some people do aim for, then that means you're 74 to 81st percentile. Again, that's good. That's a good for like a regular state university, a public university. But when it comes to the big name Ivy League colleges, or even the competitive private universities such as Hopkins, they require a high score, okay? So you should be aiming for the 91st to 94th percentile, so 1350 to 1600. Of course, if you get 1600, you're amazing, right? 99 plus percentile. So personally, for me, the year I took it, I managed to get the 99 percentile. But I still didn't get into like Stanford or MIT because, like I said, SAT is not everything. But that's just a general gist of what you can expect. So if you want to go to any simple public university, like a regular public university, like University of Maryland, for example, the one I go to, a good score to aim for, all right? The good score that's not a 1600, but it's not like a 1000, right? A good score that hits a sweet spot is a 1400, okay? And this, of course, is on the higher end. Going back to the chart, it's a 91st and 94th percentile. And why I say a 1400 is because you want to aim high, all right? And also, you should aim for a 1500 because if you miss, you'll get at least like a 1450, right? If you aim this high, you may hit over here or over here. But if you aim this high, you may hit over here, over here. And so based on, like, imagine a scale, you want to expect that if you aim for 1500, you can possibly get a 1460. But if you're only aiming for a 1400, you may end up getting a 1360, right? So you want to aim high, guys. But like I said, a sweet spot score will be a 1400. That score not only is good, as in it makes you competitive since you're in the top 10% of test takers, but it's also very achievable given a good amount of practice. You don't have to study your brains out to get a 1400, but you do have to put in the work and you do have to study. You can expect to get a good SAT score with minimal studying, okay? With minimal studying, you could probably expect to score in the top 50% of test takers, because usually this teaching they teach you in school is enough to get you to 1,000 or a 1050. But when you actually study for SAT, like you study for SAT math, which is different from regular math, and you study for SAT questions, then that's when you can actually boost your score to a 1400, 1300, and get in the top 8 percentile, top 9 percentile. And that's where you want to be when you want to differentiate yourself from the competition, okay? So again, if you're aiming for a public university, at the state school, aim for 1400. That's like almost guaranteed completion. Like if a university were to have a threshold for, does this person have a good SAT score, this would be a check if you get a 1400 to most universities, but aside from the very top universities, okay? So aim for the 1400. Now, realistically, a score that can still make you very competitive, but it won't have that guaranteed check mark by it, is like a 1300 to 1350. This is only for public universities. Public universities like to see a 1300, 1350 because that shows that the student is very capable or smart. But at the same time, some public universities may not use that as a differentiating factor. But if you get a 1400, that's what really sets you apart from the pack. So I hope this video helps you guys understand what a good SAT score is, what it means, how percentiles work, as well as what you should really aim for depending on if you want to attend an Ivy League, a public university, etc. So let me know what you guys are planning to do. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Peace.